Hi, so we're going to do the last question in this video that I think I have not covered this question in the previous video that I uploaded. So then we'll go on to sequences and series. So the first to determine ascending powers of x of this thing are given to be p plus qx squared. So we need to find the values of n, p, and q. Alright, so we have 1 plus x, and we have 2 minus x divided by 4 squared. Sorry, x divided by 4 to the power n. Now I will write 1 plus x, and then let me expand the second term. So we have nc0, 2 to the power n, plus nc1, 2 to the power n minus 1, and I have minus x divided by 4 to the power of 1. And finally, I have nc2, 2 to the power n minus 2, and minus x divided by 4 to the power 2, and on and on. And now let's simplify what I have inside my bracket. So nc0 is just 1, so that is just 2 to the power n, plus nc1 is just n, and I have 2 to the power n minus 1, and I have negative x by 4. But we can simplify this further. We can bring the negative sign to the front, and then 4 can be written as 2, right? 2 squared. 4 is just 2 squared. So now we can write, hey, instead of saying I have x divided by 2 squared, I can write this as times x divided by 2 squared. And now 2n minus 1 divided by 2 squared, right? 2n minus 1 divided by 2 squared, I can simplify that further. That is 2 to the power n minus 1 minus 2, and that gives us 2 to the power n minus 3, and we have x at the end. And finally, we have nc2. nc2 is n times n minus 1 divided by 2. We have 2 to the power n minus 2. We have minus x squared is just x squared. And we have 4 squared is 16. 16 is 2 to the power 4. And actually, we can do the same thing here. So we have 2 to the power 4 and times one more 2 here. So that is just going to be overall divided by 2 to the power 5. Right? So we just simplified the denominator that we had. And we have 2 to the power n minus 2 minus 5 is what we will have. So that is 2 to the power n minus 7 x squared. So now that we have simplified everything, let's see. We can see that this is given. So if you think about it, then we are given that there is no x term in our final answer. So how do we get the x term? Well, the x term is 2 to the power n, x times 2 to the power n, and we'll have minus n, so we can multiply 1 with the x term and x with the constant term, and that will be our overall x term. 2 to the power n minus 3 x is equal to 0x. We don't have an x term, so the coefficient has to be 0. Therefore, 2 to the power n minus n times 2 to the power n minus 3 has to be equal to 0. So now, let's think about how we can solve this equation. So we have n times 2 to the power n minus 3, and we have 2 to the power n. And finally, we can say that n is equal to 2 to the power n divided by 2 to the power n minus 3. N is equal to 2 to the power n minus n minus 3. N is equal to 2 to the power n minus n is 0, minus 1 minus 3 is plus 3. So we get that n is going to be equal to 8. So n is going to be 8. And now that we have n is equal to 8, well, what will be p? P is just going to be the constant term. So we just substitute, so we just now calculate everything else. So our constant term is just going to be 2 to the power n, right? 1 times 2 to the power n is going to give our constant term. Everything else I have to multiply through with x, so we're not going to have another constant term. So 2 to the power n was 8. So 2 to the power 8, I believe, is 256, if I'm not mistaken. So let me just check. 2 to the power 8 is 256, yes. So p is 256. And finally, we need the x squared term. So how do we get x squared? Well, I multiply 1 with the x squared term. So that is n minus 1 2 to the power n minus 7 x squared plus another way to get x squared is to multiply your x with the term containing x. So that will also give me x squared. So I have minus n 2 to the power n minus 3 x squared. And that has to be q x squared based on the question. So now you can divide by x squared everywhere. So you get n times n minus 1, 2 to the power n minus 7 minus n 2 to the power n minus 3 is equal to q. And just substitute n is equal to 8. So 8 times 7, 7 8 is 56 times 2 to the power 8 minus 7 is just 1 minus 8 times 2 to the power 8 minus 3 is 5. So that is your q value. And finally, you can conclude that q is equal to 56. 56 times 2 minus 8 times 2 to the power 5. Q is negative 144. So that is how you do question 15. And that is it.